How's it going, guys?
What's good? Good, everybody. All
All
right.
right, John, what's up? I'm excited for this one, man.
What's up, brother?
So I got with
Hey,
me
yeah,
today, John. He also goes by Shogunna. I think I've been following you since like 2012, around that time, right? That's when you.
yeah.
That's not when you started,
Yeah.
right? But
27, 27. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I wanted to like have you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us kind of who you are and your story, your background, what you've been up to.
All right. Yeah. So, John Bosco Chiba. A lot of people, even my own mother, they know me as Shogun. And I had a artist ball name as Shogunna. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What up, Kat? Kat, I see you. Okay, but Shogunna. Basically to cut a long story short, try to generalize it so people get an idea who I am, and also try to get the story going. It's just yeah, born and raised in Queens. So coming up, the childhood we had, me and my sister, we had I'm not gonna say just like a rough childhood like everybody else. The household was very, very strict and abusive. But
Okay.
that, what I found out from my therapist later on, is what it also, brings up these triggers in my mind.
Right.
But yeah, and then growing up, so how do you say that saying? I was rolling with the wrong crowd,
Oh
even though
yeah.
it was my choice. No matter what, it's a choice I made, but rolling with the wrong crowd, which created even more of a more layers to that mentality I already had from the get go. So it was just like building it up to molding me into a person
Right.
that now that I did not like who I was.
There's a lot of
So
stacked traumas at
that,
an early age, right? And then you surrounded yourself in an
yeah,
environment that was not conducive for like healing or a betterment, right? It's kind of like feeding that
yeah,
instant gratification of things where it's like, hey, this is what we got to deal with today, so this is what we're gonna do.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just yeah, and then from there it's just keep going on. Got in trouble, got into a lot of trouble. Made me into a toxic person. Trouble, of course, from prison, doing my bid, coming home, and even becoming a worse person. Because now after prison, it's like a whole different layer in my mentality
You're,
that I
you're
came out
surrounded
with
by
now.
even worse people in there than you were on the street. Yeah.
Yeah, so then it just became, now when I'm back out, I have to institutionalize mine with that mindset, with everything else, and that's who I became. Shogunna. That's how and then right after that is like all the rapping and all that started too.
Okay. Okay.
Because and like for me, honestly, the music was honestly could have should have been the way out, but then my issue was I let the ego take control of everything. So
Right.
my ego was just taking control of my life, and it's it made me. I mean, I've done a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of horrible shit. What I'm saying. So it's like now that I look back, it's like fuck. I don't want to curse too much, but like damn, like you know it's not you hold regrets now, but it's like a lot of things that I look back like I could have done differently. So
Right.
from now on, I'll be that different type of person. So,
One
but
thing I always tell myself
after
is,
that,
don't regret things
yeah,
because whatever you did in your past makes you who you are today, right? And so it's like you don't have to regret all that shit, but like you could change it, right? You don't have to be that same person you used to be as long as you're better today than you were yesterday.
exactly 100 on that. And yeah, so that was life. So I became that person. So it's just music should have been the gateway out. It was like I felt it because I felt something different when I'm in a creative process
Okay.
and actually doing and putting in the work. I felt like a different person. I didn't feel like it's Shogunno, but I still felt like this is not the person I'm like this is like I guess it's the artist side, the creativity side. It was like if I stuck with that, I would have probably but it's all shoulda, woulda, coulda. But
Right.
I should have stuck with it. Like that's my shoulda. But it's my like for me it was I was letting everything else just that was became my priority. I was too focused on the streets, getting
Mm.
money, the fast money, and just wilding out. So that led me to before my Mecca to California, right? It's just it's like I got hit with a catalyst. So it was a catalyst between best friends. Like, who's your best friend now?
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into too much detail, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, I felt betrayal. It was like betrayal, like who's your, because this is basically our team, like the main team. Like, like this is it. This is the fan. That was the bond. But
Yeah.
from within that fan and bond, it was just broken. But when that broke, I'm not gonna lie, my whole world fell apart. So it was just like, cause trust. loyalty, like the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Even sisterhood, we had the homegirls too. So everybody was split. So from there, it was just like I started feeling me going in slowly into the drift of going down. So, but then I just let it happen. It's like, and then I was trying to find different outlets to mask out. Now I see I was trying to mask it, like to ease the pain. What I was trying to say is like back then, like forget about everything. So it led to like substance abuse, but more alcohol abuse. I was very, very hardcore alcoholic. So I'm not drinking to have fun or be social or get loose. I was drinking to not. I'm drinking probably like where it's like you know how you drink so much you just pass out right away.
Yeah.
Like that
It's
was
more to mask the pain and
my
distract you from life, right?
Yeah. So that's the mentality I had. Just keep at that. I was, like with substance abuse, like I was hooked on ketamine, right? Because that was like for me to not be depressed, because from my research, but whatever. But that's just an excuse. It's just I was just trying to find an escape from an external realm. But it was ketamine and alcohol, so those two. But I was just on that like for like years, like 2 years, and then basically all the money I was making from trapping, doing all the dirt I was doing for like the past couple of years, risking my life, I threw it all away just on substances and alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was still getting locked up, but I still wanted fast money, so I'm trying to find different ways to make money. Getting packed. So how California happened, right? I'm getting packed from West Coast, weed and all that. But I'm still getting caught. I'm still getting arrested. I was like, yo, this shit ain't working for me. I'm a horrible criminal. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, this shit ain't working. And I'm not trying to get a fucking 9 to 5, but it's so my boy hit me up, my best friend, who was part of also that whole circle that everything split. He's like, yo, get what you got and just come out here and let's start a new life. At least try that.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that also ran away from his problems. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just facing it, and then if you eventually make the move to it, he just left right away. And I don't blame him for that. So, but I just went too, and then to me, I came to California, sunshine, rainbows, like girls in bikinis in Venice Beach. That's you know what I'm saying?
That Cali life.
Like low riders and all that. And then I came out here. I went straight to like the San Bernardino County area. Like that's when I was first introduced to a bunch of like Meth Head Central. I was like, what? How like it was just crazy. I was like, what the hell is this?
It's not. It wasn't the dreamland you were promised. You're like, this is not what I was envisioning.
No. They got me. I went to Dreamland for the first week. Hey, this is this is that, this is that. I'm like, yeah. So where are you staying at? No. We get our money out here. So, where we get the money at was just like Chino, California, where the state prison is, like right around that area. So I thought I was doing the right thing. Like, so it's basically I invested into the medical marijuana dispensary, because like I was like, you know what, if I still want to, to me it's like get the quick money, but I don't want to be getting arrested like and always looking behind my back, you know,
like more legitimate, walking that line.
Yeah, more legitimate. Like I started paying my taxes, I was doing everything, and then eventually I got greedy again. This is where I wanted my fast money, because you know why? Because I was like, all right, I want to do this music still, right? But this is where my music passion was not dying, but it was just more like, yo, I wasn't investing into the music at all. Like, this is where I turned my back on hip hop. This is where I basically cheated on hip hop for my own personal pleasures and whatever I was trying to get out of my life. And this is basically, I thought that, doing this will help me escape this mentality that I'm like always fighting with myself in my head. Like, yo, just end it all, man. It ain't worth it. Yo, whatever you do, it ain't gonna work. You see all that work you put in before, all that shit, it's not gonna work. Just give it up. So that's what was always in my head, but I would just keep going, because I thought in my mind, yo, once I hit that 7 figures, I'm good. Like I ain't gotta, this, to me, it's like money's just gonna, make it all disappear. But that, of course, is never true.
Right.
That, of course, is never. You can have billionaires out there who still go through mental health issues, about to kill themselves, and like a lot of who go battling their demons. So for me, I was just like, all right. I'm up to that level. I'll kind of say I was okay, but not too suicidal. Suicidal thoughts was more like as time after my last catalyst, my next catalyst after that was when I got locked up for the case of the medical marijuana dispensary because I got greedy. I was sending you know how I was sending packs back home to New York, and then I was sending packs like pounds and all that, and then I was also
this is all stuff that the courts know about already, right? You're not incriminating yourself.
They made my time for that. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
okay.
Hey, if I never did anything, if there's something about no time or nothing like that, yeah, that's it.
Just let me know if there's anything I need to cut out later.
No. I get to hit you up like, yo, bro, let's do this over. Let's start over. So it's after that happened, it was like, now I lost everything. Now I even lost money. Like square one. Like, yo, in California, nothing. Remember, and I don't have a fallback. I don't have like family behind me to hold me down or anything like that. So it was just like, what do I do? So I was like, all right, I got to go the legit route. You know what I'm saying? So but eventually, and that's when I had my daughter. When I was away. I was in jail when my daughter was born.
Oh, okay.
So I was, and then but then that actually struck a nerve in my mind. Like, yo, you got to get out there because I'm not there for my daughter being born. I'm not this, and then I got to get out there. I got to be in her life now. So that was when I kind of told myself, hey, I need to start changing. But so I came out, and then we left LA because her mother wanted to be over here. So I respected it. I said, let's go back to New York, but I respected we come up here. And coming up here even made me realizing more, like, damn, like I should have addressed my demons in my past right there, I should have started seeking help then. But from there, I was just like more depressed. Like, yo, I'm in a place I don't even want to be. Like, it's just, this is not it. And then also, like, I found out Catalyst was like about the truth about my daughter's mother, like everything, just like her previous relationship that I was the home wrecker for, basically a married woman with kids, but I'm the one who came and took all that away.
But you didn't even know about that, right? I remember we talked about that before.
Yeah, so that was like another catalyst that hit me. Like, but to me now, that made me into a person on that layer of, yo, you can't trust anybody. Everybody's a fucking liar. It's just like, it's just, so that just added more layer to where I had trust issues with letting new people into life. So that made me made an even bigger catalyst, and then, but I just stuck. But from there, my mentality, I was like, I'm gonna give up everything. I just gotta focus on trying to be in my daughter's life now, and just be legit. So I was working legit. Like that's why I started doing sushi, right? Of all things, right? Like so, I started, I'm gonna do sushi. That should look easy, That should look easy. I went there. It was the worst decision I made in my life. It was the fucking most hardest thing I ever fucking did in my life, but I'm still doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man. But to me, I was doing sushi, but not to be a better person. To me, I was just like, yo, forget the whole world. Like it's because you know how I don't know, like if restaurant lives, the chefs they have no lives. They're there like 12 to 14 hours a day. Yeah. So their whole every day is just gone. But to me, that was okay with me because it's like this. I'm not.
You could dive into work.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm just away from everything. So I was basically I put myself back in my own prison cell. So it was like I was back locked up. And
but with work, right?
Yeah, but with work. Basically, my prison work was my prison because it's not prison, but like my mentality was like I made it that way. That's all I was. Like if no days off or anything like that. Only time I'm gonna have a days off is when I'm with my daughter. So but those, and then for me, I realized now it's like I all that made me these layers. How I release myself out, like even when I speak to the world, I'm a very toxic person. It's like toxic and that's towards like people who had nothing to do with my issues. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these new people I'm meeting have nothing to do with my issues, but I'm lashing it out on them like they're the reasons for I'm like this from me going through from something that's gone a long time ago.
Right.
So, which I will get into later on, how we're gonna, like the past is the past. That's behind us. I'm talking about like what's behind me. Like, it's just like this. But some people, like even me, I was the type that, hey, try to go back. Like, even though there's nothing there, I'm always trying to reach into it.
Holding on to the things in the past, and then almost bringing it up and blaming other people in your present. But it's really you're projecting those issues, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what happened with me. And then, so like, let's bring it to present day.
Yeah. So
I was
what
still
was
down.
like during that journey? What was like the moment where it clicked in and you were like, yo, like I gotta change this shit. Like I'm the process I've been going through. I'm not able to get my head out of that state of mind with what you were currently doing, right? So what was that catalyst?
So my cat was, which is present day. So it's probably I think like the end of the year. Um, it was a
2021.
catalyst.
2021.
2020, but it's like 2021 and 2022. So it's basically
Okay.
the whole New Year's, Christmas, like
Yeah.
right then and there. It's all building up, and then like right after New Year's, and then by the end of January is when like almost by the end of January is when my first week when I started to say and actually try out therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So and we'll talk about that journey too. But it's just my catalyst for me personally is just how it involved my daughter. So now I'm more involved in my daughter's life, and then it's the way I'm trying to raise her. It's the way I'm speaking to her, and I'm not speaking to her like being like like a authoritative figure, like a parent. I am, but not like like what I think is the correct way. It was just more. I was being always harsh, always like this. So I realized when she's always around me, she's always timid. Once she's always timid. It's like, I mean, she said, she still would be like, I love you and all that, but like, she was always timid. And then there was one thing she did. It was like, not, if you think about it, little minor things, but it made me blow up. I was like, I don't hit her, but I'm always like, I was like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like this, that, just yelling at her and like scolding her. And she was just like stuck. And then I dropped her off at school. And then when I went to go pick her up, she didn't want to come. She didn't want to come to me. Yeah, so the teacher was like, hey, you gotta go to your dad. She's like, she's going like this. I ain't going to my dad. She's like, no. And then the teacher was like, okay, then we're gonna have the other parent pick her up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I got shut down. So I was like, what? I almost lost my cool. This is when, like this, I was gonna go down, and then the security guard came out too. So I was like, that's when I realized, okay, I'm about to lose everything again. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So that was the first time I learned how to swallow my pride. Because if I didn't swallow my pride, I would have been probably locked up or never get to see my daughter again. You know what I'm talking about? Because what they're seeing at that moment is already going to be justified, and I'm done. So at that moment, I was just like, but I don't know how I was able to do it. It was just like this, and I saw that, and I see my sister, not my sister, my daughter walking away. I saw that. I got stuck on that. I was like, all right. Yeah. So it was like I actually grabbed my fist like this. I was like, all right. I was like, I'll talk to your grandmother. We'll figure something out. It's okay.
Yeah.
So I walked out. In the car, I lashed out. I was about to break things, but I was just like,
yeah.
What the hell? But then and then it was like, and then my mom's like, what the hell did I do? She was in school. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Then I started backtracking. I was like, oh, you know what I'm talking about from that moment. And I see her, and then it popped up to other things. Oh, she's like this, and I was like, oh my god, I can't. And then that's when I started, like not a light bulb, like it hit me. I was like, yo, like
you had a moment of realization. You realized that the things that she was upset about was coming from you, right? Like your actions and your words to her was what set her off, and then you accepted that, where it was like, yo, I'm accountable for this shit. Like that's on me. And then that was that light bulb.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first time. Like I swallowed my pride, took accountability, and I was like, yo, like this could go really south unless I change. You know what I'm talking about? Like because this is this mentality I still have from way back. It's just it seems like it's toned down, but it's just because the environment doesn't bring it up all the time like before. Right now it's more like a normal lifestyle. I'm thinking not palm trees, sunshine all day, every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so it's just like, all right, I just gotta. What can I do? What can I do? So the first couple of days, like, yo, what can I do? I was like, oh, maybe I need self-help books. I was looking at all that, but I'm just like, I couldn't click. It wasn't clicking. I was just like, and I'm not gonna lie. That's when even the more extreme thoughts just ended all, man. Just screw all this. I'm talking about. Just it's like, yo, I don't know what I'm trying for. I don't know what I'm trying. Am I trying to be a father like this? So, and I didn't take any action, but the thought did come into my head to, hey, let me get in the car. Let me just go for a drive. But then when I got in the car for the drive, is I was just thinking, but I was realizing because what I was doing the whole time, I'm making myself feel sorry for myself just to justify everything I'm doing, even what I did to my daughter.
Right.
And when that was like kind of like, that's a big no. So I'm just like, she was just like, I finally decided to get help, and then I was researching online. So the first thing that popped up was this thing called like I don't like Cerebral, so but I didn't realize it's an app. You know what I'm talking about? So it starts with an app, and then you're supposed to get a therapist. But I tried it for a week, but I gave up on it. No, 2 weeks actually, because I gave up on it right away. Because before even supposed to meet a therapist, I met a prescription provider, like the person who's supposed to prescribe me what meds I'm gonna
So
take.
we're gonna
So
give you
what?
drugs before you meet anybody.
Yeah, so that threw me off. I
Yeah.
was like, because they ask questionnaires right online,
Okay.
and then you answer it, and then they say, hey, you from the answers you gave, we're diagnosing you with extreme anxiety, extreme depression, right? Like, okay,
Just like a
so
multiple choice questionnaire.
yeah, it was multiple, So, but to me, I was like, yo, this is okay. Even if I did it, even if it's that, it's even if it was that, like to me, it's like I need to know. Actually, to me, I'm old school. I need to hear from a person.
Yeah, I mean
I needed to hear.
that's you trust it more, right? Like you literally could just have
Yeah,
filled in the blanks of whatever, and then they're just gonna prescribe you some shit.
yeah.
Like, how do they know?
No, I could have lied on the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
because, what if I was the person, I'm trying to get some Xannies, or, I'm trying to get some
Yeah.
Adderall, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I was like, it's that easy? But I didn't, and then, so I was like, okay, so I thought I was going to meet my therapist now, like, it's all through, like, Zoom calls and all that, right? Because
Yeah.
of COVID. So, but, yeah, I meet the person who was going to say, the first thing they asked, my insurance plans for meds. And I'm like, what? I was like, I'm ready to talk about my past, but I thought this was my therapist, but
Yeah.
it turned out this person about to tell me what meds to take. And I was like, nah. I was like, all right. And I met the therapist, and then the therapist is going over the freaking my multiple choice questions, bro. You know what I'm
like
saying?
reviewing
it's
it.
not even, yeah, just reviewing it. That's all it was. Like, to me, I thought, like, let's get this going. But then it wasn't like that. So I was like, okay, we'll schedule the next session. And then the next session was going to be like a month after. I was like, what? But I'm paying every week, and I'm only going to see you once a month I was like, all right, so now finances in my head. Like, I was like, this ain't worth the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Because I just got out of that quick. And, but I was lost. I was like, damn, I don't know where to go. And then, I had my doctor's checkup and my appointment. And then I was talking to my doctor about it. Like, I went through Kaizen. So
Okay.
he said, do that. And in Stockton, because I'm always in the Bay. I work in the Bay, but I live in Stockton. I commute. You know what I'm saying? I commute far.
Yeah.
But so when I commute to work, I get to instead of going to the therapist over here, I go in Oakland. So I go to Oakland to see the therapist. So, and my first initial meeting with the therapist, because it's actually a guy, it's an older gentleman. So it's all right, let's talk. And then he already broke down everything for me. It's like how I explained to you from the beginning of us talking right now. It's about it all stem from the childhood, but now it's all stem from the childhood. But instead, right now, he's like the childhood is not what's bringing up. It's more from like my 20s now. That's what I am right now. Okay, so it's from my childhood was what made me like in the 20s, because I was still like always depressed like that during my 20s too. But it's basically from when I was like from now is when the 20s, all the catalysts during then.
All the decisions you made during that time have led up and built up to something today that, but it stems from your childhood.
Yes. So it just stemmed, but then like the 20s is what made me really be that how I was. So, and then and then we spoke about like cognitive thought disorder, right? It's like it's basically I automatically have these thoughts in my head. Like, all right, for instance, my thoughts are like, today's gonna be a bad day. Like I'm just giving like a vague example, like I met a girl, but she's like, she's gonna cheat on me probably like in a month. Like just like in my mind, I'm already trying to convince myself it's not gonna work out anything, and that was with everything. So that's why I've been so hot. Took a hiatus with my music. I just doubted, self-doubt was happening and everything. So that's what he explained to me too.
It was like a compound effect, but in a negative way, where everything just stacked, and so you didn't want to do anything, you couldn't function. Yeah. So then
So
the
that,
last therapist you got, the one in Oakland, that's the one you stuck with, right?
yeah, that's the one I stick with to this day. So I actually told him, let's do it because he wants to do more follow up. So I know. Sometimes I think, yeah, this, because some sessions are just like, yo, how you been? We talk, how you been? I'm good. Just regular small talk.
Yeah.
And then boom, hours up, I'm going. And I'm like, yo, am I going to see my friend or am I going to see my therapist? But it's like, to me, like a therapist is somebody you should trust as a friend. It's like, I remember you guys posted that. Is picking a therapist is like you're getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
Yo, when I saw that, I'm like, yo, it's exactly why. Because when I was, I'm analyzing my therapist like, yo, do I want to get with this guy? You know what I'm talking about?
Like, yeah, like, is this someone I
just,
can talk to about the shit in my past,
yeah.
or is he gonna judge me, or am I gonna feel some type of way, right? So it's very relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's so true. It's so true what you said. So that's how. But I stuck with this therapist, and I'm just at a level. It's just okay. And how we've been following up, I'm at a level right now. Of course, it's still in me where I am triggered, but I am noticing when I am triggered.
You're aware of it, yeah.
Yeah, I am very like aware now. It's like in the beginning, it's like, oh, I feel it, because it's that tenseness for me. It's like I get tense right
in the chest, right?
like
that welling.
Yeah, like, I get tense. Yeah, and before, like once I get tense, I'm ready to just. Whether it be like this or physical,
fight or flight, that fight kicks in. Yeah.
Yeah. This was for me my starting point. Okay, it's time. It's go time. But now once I feel it, I'm always like, oh, it happened. Now I'm at that level. It's like, oh, it's happening. You know what I'm talking about? And then this is where I want to share with everybody. We all go through it. Like everybody has different triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It steps in different areas. For me, it's over here. Once I feel triggered, let's say like somebody talking mad crap, triggered, but I got to come in and I'm like, okay, is it gonna, but my bad for like switching up, but when it's gonna, if it's really a fight or flight situation.
Yes.
Majority of times it's not a fight or flight situation. We make it into a fight or flight situation. That's
our mind kind of tricks us into it and like replicates that scenario,
exactly.
But the reality is like, I don't need to fight this person. I'm just upset about something they said. Yeah.
So so I started noticing these triggers, and then I'm at a point like, why didn't I do this sooner, many years ago? Like, you know what I'm talking about? And then we'll get into that, because I was in denial, and I didn't want nobody to know I was having these thoughts or, this mentality.
Yeah.
Because with us Asian men, a lot of in our culture, it's like we're not supposed to be weak. We're not supposed to be depressed.
Yeah. We're
not supposed to be going through struggles like where we're like stuck on the wall crying and being depressed and all that. So it's just that's how it's brainwashed into our minds. You know what I'm saying? Like in Korean, they say, no, 남자야 아니야. It's like, are you a man or not? You have to be a man. So as a man, you gotta always just hold your ground. And then with that mentality, and then going to the street mentality, that you can never show weakness.
Right.
Either to your friends or your enemies. You gotta always be like on point. You gotta be like focused and all that kind of stuff. So that's like that was the main reason, and I was always in denial, bro. So that's it's just now that I'm like, yo, why was I thinking that? You know what I'm talking about? But then I realized it's like, if I was thinking like that, how many other people are out there thinking like that too?
That's it's interesting, right? That's the majority of people think that way.
Yeah, I know people I know personally are going through that. So it's just like, and I see how I try to talk to them, but they're like, yo, I got this. What do you mean? I'm good, man. But then I'm just like, yo, this. I was like, I'm here if you need to talk, though. I always tell them that now.
Right.
Like, yo, just hit me up. I'm here if you need to talk, bro. Like, I got you. I got nothing but love for you. You're my brother. So, it's up to that now. But I see it, and then now that I see it, it's just like I don't know why. I want to reach out. I'm like, yo, I kind of want to help, or try to bring awareness to them, but I realize they're in denial because they're basically how I was.
Yeah.
I would have been like, what do you mean? Yo, stop trying to be all righteous on me now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, just leave it alone. So
it's one of those things where it's like, if it's unsolicited advice, almost people reject it automatically because it's like, yo, I don't need help. Like, I didn't ask you for help. But at the same time, you being on the other side of it, knowing how much it helped you, like, you want to share that with everyone around you because it's like, you realize how much you self-sabotage everything in your own life, and it all stems from your mindset, right? And going back to like, our culture and everything, it's like, Asian men there is definitely, within the culture, it's like the men are the providers, right? And again, this is all very
Yeah.
stereotypical and everything, but that's just the reality of the culture. And the women are, the providers of, everything in the house. Like they cook, they clean, they help with, taking care of the kids. Like those were the roles that are set in our cultures, and so that's what we grow up knowing. And then, the reality out here is, especially in America, is like it doesn't have to be that way. It can be that way if that's, the choices you guys have within your relationship. But,
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I kind of did like a poll where I just asked the general question, like, what is a man, right? And all the responses I got were very unique, but there was still like certain points that hit on everyone's response, where it was like, there was a physical aspect to it, whether it's, you do a lot of the labor or the physical heavy lifting that falls on the man, the protector for physical protection, and then the provider, providing either financially or, just putting food on the table. And so that was not in all the answers, but a majority of the answers had some form of that. And no one had like bad intentions to like, respond to it. And it was all posed in a very good way. But the underlying message still tied to that, where it's like we have in our minds, this is how it's supposed to be. And,
Yes.
and even in the street life, it's like the stigma of, like if you need some type of mental help, that means you're off or something's, there's a weakness in you. But the reality is, like, if your emotions are easily manipulated, like that's how people catch you slipping, because they rile you up, and then that's a trap, bro. Like, it's
Exactly. So,
it takes strength to go on the journey you're on, right? Like to admit to yourself your deepest flaws, and that, talking to somebody will actually help you. It doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger, because then you're more in control of yourself, your emotions, your body. And that means no one can get you riled up without you wanting to be, right? Like, it's like you make that choice consciously once you have control of that shit. And you've been doing that. And
so it's just, no, you're right, bro. Yeah, you're right. I just wanted to add to that too, though. It's just, it's for us men. It's with that mentality, and then it keeps going, and then it's okay to. We're human, right? At the end of it, we're gonna have feelings sometimes. We will have some type of feelings, sadness, happiness, fear, like joy, like we are supposed to feel that too. But it's just basically it's like you're not supposed to have those feelings. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like basically
like don't cry, don't show it, right?
It's just like this, stone cold. That's it.
You have to be stoic 100% of the time.
Yep. So it's like knowing that it's like, that's just like a machine. Like there's no soul.
Yeah.
Like soul. It's just like that. So, but then, I know every man, even woman. I mean, even women too. I probably there's women who are going through the same emotions how men are going through. Like, I can't show this. I I can't be look weak. So but it's not being weak. It's okay. You whatever you went through is what you went through, and you feeling like that, or whenever you feel depressed, it's not you feeling weak. It's just okay. So it's whatever, however, like science, the chemical imbalances in your brain and all that, but it's also the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
The thought process that leads to that. So it's just not like I just want everybody to be more aware when like I'm talking about when they're triggered or when things like that happen, and just to see. At the end of the day, we're like problem solvers. Humans are problem solvers too. Like, they always find, hey, well, how can I fix something, right? Yeah. That's how we evolved and how we moved on. So it's just like, you live your life like that. There's one thing that we should fix. That's if it's supposed to be fixed. You need something to fix, but it's ourselves. Yeah. To better ourselves. So
but we're always looking external, right? It's like there's a problem. Like how do I fix this thing out here? When really it's like I need to fix something in here. And that'll solve a lot of problems, not just that one thing you're focused on.
Yeah. So it's instead everybody's looking out, but then you gotta look back in. You know why? Because we don't have a mirror to always look at ourselves, right? But
the eye can't see itself. But that's why it helps to have someone to talk to, right? Because then it's like even just saying it out loud gives it power. Where you don't even need a response sometimes. Like just somebody listening and like kind of validating whatever you're feeling and making you feel more human. Where it's like, it's actually okay to say this and be however I'm feeling, as long as I don't like hang on to that. And then saying it like releases it, right?
Yeah. So you could talk, but here's the thing about friends or family that you try to talk to. Okay. even though they're friends and family, what I realize is they still are only going to listen with this perception of what they have of you. You know what I'm talking about, or me. You know, like so. Even if I tell them something totally like, you know, to me it's personal. I'm sharing it because I'm depressed. This is somebody I could trust, but they're only gonna react and listen as their perception to you. So if it's something where they totally don't think it's you, like they're gonna, what are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about? So they're gonna either like
They'll invalidate it.
differently. Yeah, they might say, yo, you know, something like, they might treat you a different way too sometimes, but it's not their fault because their perception of you is you. You know what I'm talking about? I think that's when a therapist really helps because you got to go somewhere where the person doesn't know you from a hole anymore. They just know you came to get help, and they're just gonna. There's no it's no intimacy. It's basically it's just basically black and white. What they're gonna how it's gonna be when they talk to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's we do need that. We need to see it and hear it black and white, and we have to realize it in black and white. Like you know what I'm talking about? It's this or that. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You know. What it is, it's this. Okay, it's not this. It's this. It's not that. And then you get all the pieces together, and then from there. That's how you build yourself. You know, basically what I did was I broke myself down. Like I tore everything out. Like everything on my mind is like a reset. Of course, you know, my habits are still with me. So it's just like, so the habits are with me. So but now it's at a level where like, okay, I tore myself down. Everything I thought from back then. Let me see how I could start thinking, like, what's the best way to go about things right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, but the problem is just the mentality.
Rewiring the mentality in a healthier way.
Yes, exactly. But for me personally, I'm still going through the struggles of the mentality that I had learned and acquired, from the streets. I mean, we ain't gotta get too detailed with that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that we don't we don't have to. We don't have to talk about, but it's just I still feel it because when I'm triggered, whenever I'm triggered, so I'm working in sushi, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working like the fancy omakase, like the edomai, the old school style,
okay,
those places were cool because it's not like a bunch of people. It's just like
smaller
a little bit of people. It's small, more intimate, right? So, but when you're in like the high volume places, that's when I start getting triggered a lot. I'm like. Because there's a lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of personalities, and I'm just like always on high alert. Because it's crazy. I don't know why I feel like this. Because as soon as customers walk in, if it's a lot, right, I get triggered. It's like I'm not happy. To me, I should welcome it, but it's because
it's good for business, right?
Yeah, it's good for business. That's how you make your tips. That's how you make your money and all that. But in my mind, like, I want to curse. Yeah, why they all coming on? I'm just like, just already triggered. I'm holding on my knife real hard. Like,
it's like, it's lunchtime.
So it's just crazy. It's just, but I still have it in me. So it's just like, that's like one of the things I'm also working on right now. But it's just hard because I'm just, I'm always ready. It's still, I realize I'm always ready to go. So, but then not towards my people I would consider my tribe,
right.
But I was doing that to my daughter. Remember, how I told you that was my kindness, like just the way I was speaking, the way I was lashing out at her, and not just her, even like people around me. I used to be
friends, family,
just lashing. Yep. But now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, my daughter, I'm just more like, even I see her doing her things in my mind. I was like, she's at her age, So I'm more like learning to accept it because. Like, I was her age, and when I was doing things wrong, I was getting smacked by my mom. You know what I'm talking about? Like, So it's a bam, bam, bam. But I guess that's the generational violence that we learn, as we grow older. Yeah. So it's just like, it's like a domino effect. I think somebody messaged that over there. But it's like a generational learning, like that. It's a domino effect, and that's so true. So I'm just like, all right, let's not do it like that. And then let me start by being a better father to my daughter. Like, right. I'm just, how I treat you. So I'm like, okay. So our relationship, she's coming to me now. She's back on her little bratty mentality, just treating me like crap as usual. only call my name when she need me, but it's all good. It's love, you know what I'm saying? So like that, and then like at work, I'm more cool, calm, collected, right? I'm more cool, calm, collected. But and then with social life, with social, I would say I'm more more open. I'm telling myself, welcome people
Okay.
into your life now.
So like
Remember,
not at
remember,
work, right? But when you're in a social setting, you're okay with like meeting new
yeah,
people and
life general.
strangers. Yeah.
Yep,
You're not
life
as on
general.
guard.
Yeah, because I had that door closed. Ain't nobody. I don't want to know anybody. I don't keep. You know what I'm talking about. I don't care. You know what I'm talking about? Because in my mind, fuck everybody. You can't trust any single soul. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it's like just basically me against everybody now. So
It's a balance though, right?
it's just
Because you do want to allow people in because who you surround yourself with is very important. And so if you allow the right
yeah,
people in, that will be good for, everything else in your life and the things you'll learn, the experiences you'll have, right? But if you
yeah,
stay stagnant with everything you're used to from the past, then it's that cycle of you're in that same loop of repetitiveness.
yeah. I mean, the support system really helps. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But one thing, all of us on that journey, don't rely too much on the support system because that's still looking at external things
Yes.
to fix an internal problem. You know, you can't fix the outside of like you can't fix the windshield to fix your engine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to fix your engine, right?
Yes.
You got to fix like all that. So that's how I see it as now. But
it's all a
just
balancing act, right? Because we talked about this before too, where it's like it's on one hand it's a good thing that your daughter is your motivation and your drive, but at the same time, again, that is an external versus you doing this for yourself because you want to be the best.
yeah,
And it goes hand in hand almost, where it's like you want to be your best self for your daughter, and so it's still that same motivation, but again, like with the right lens, right? Like doing this for
yeah.
you so that you could be the best for her.
It's still external, even because my daughter, it's an external thing. But then it's just like, what am I doing internally to do this to her, or how I treat other people? You know what I'm talking about? So that change for me really like it was a really huge change for me. Like I was never like that because I mean, people from New York know me as more like open, like open type of person. But when it was game time, I mean, like when it's time to do work, whatever, it was dirt time. But I was also had the other side of me that was crazy. Like it was just wild. So, and I mean, we can't talk about it too much because it's statute of limitations on certain things never end. So it's just like we just had a life. I just lived a life where it's just like, yo, now that I see it, it's like, damn, it was either the casket or the rest of my life back in prison or federal penitentiary. So that to me, it was just like, all right, I got given this chance. It's basically like your second chance a long time ago, but then I've been pushing my luck. Like I had that second chance when I first came out of prison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was many years. Yeah, like in my 20s. But I didn't take that as that chance. I just went the totally opposite direction. I went back even worse into the streets. Now I'm rolling with now it's getting more serious. You know what I'm saying? Like the dirt was getting way more serious. It was just everything was more serious. So it's just always high alert. And then just that's why like all that kind of stuff, the denial was always hitting in. Like, yo, you can never show a weakness. You can't ever show it because you're not gonna be if you're in that life, you can never show that weakness, bro. So it's just like it's just crazy because like when the whole betrayal happened between the whole family and all that, it was just like the whole crew. It was just like that's when it was like, yo, the trust for me. And then, but I still didn't want to go without the secret. To me, it was that's now it's okay. Now it's me, and then the whatever's left of my side of my lineage and our whatever say gang or whatever that's it. This is our side. Now it's a whole split section. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like one whole big unit became like 2 to 3 units. Everybody split up, and now we're all at war with each other. Mm-hmm. So that made my trust issues even way like off the roof. But then that's when I made the move to Cali, but Cali is a blessing too for me because in a way I came to Cali to run away from my problems. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like I came here to run away
intentionally.
Like,
the intention at first was to do that, right? But that's where you ended up finding a way to not run from it anymore.
Yeah. So I came here to run. Like everybody, like, cause to me it was like I told you before, palm trees, like girls in bikinis and Venice Beach and all that, low riders. I'm not gonna lie, cause that's the image I had. You know? On the plane, I was like, boy, yeah, ready to go. LAX, I was like, I was like, all right, this is it. Cause I was always going back and forth, but this time this is the move.
Yeah.
This is the move. I'm making the move now. So that was it. I was like, I ain't looking back no more New York. I'm on that Tupac mentality. I'm like, everybody
West
back
Coast.
like, that's it. But then, I was wrong for that because I was totally wrong. I was basically running away from my problem. I could have just stayed there and just handle it from there. But and then like I was always ran from that, I was running away from my demons by just running away, right? Always changing locations, different states, changing occupation from drug dealer from this to to being to sushi chef or what I'm talking about, or freaking doing all these crazy odd jobs and whatever to survive. And then it's just now that I was just like coming here, it was a blessing because it made me okay. Now it's just like remember I'm here, no support system. It's just me solo, right? I mean I got my boy. But we're all scattered, and the thing, California is huge as hell. I didn't think California was as big, man. California, is basically, yeah.
Especially because the East Coast, right? Like you could travel across like 3 states in an hour for certain places, right?
Yeah. So I got the East Coast mentality. It's like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Boston. Like 6 hours, I'll be like in Boston, right?
Yeah.
But then over here, 6 hours is like coming from the Bay. You're not even in LA yet. So but you're still in the same state. So I was like, what? So it was a culture shock for me. But that's on a fun note. But on the serious note, it's just like, and then I still came here, I was still getting locked up. You know what I'm talking about? And then like locked up for, my recharge. I even got locked up for DUI. Like it was just, and then even got in trouble my daughter's mother's brothers, scrapped out because it was just, but the scrap out was, that was kind of my fault too, because I was like, it was because of her real husband. Husband. Yeah, of course. But you know what? Now it's more like when her real husband ever sees me, I say, "Yo, what up, man? You good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." It's because now we're at the same boat. We're in the same position because she's now with doing her thing with another person making 2 more babies. I don't like talking bad, but it's just that's like the situation. Because remember, he hated me because I was the homewrecker, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So
wait,
and then
she hated you for that, but you didn't even know.
No. But yeah, but the thing is, of course, in his mind though, it's still a threat. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, he did. Yeah. Nah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then, but like with that situation, I would say it was a kind of a catalyst for me to, hey, don't jump into you know what it was? Because jumping into relationships, so I don't feel depressed too. Like this is like also trying to find an escape.
Yeah, we talked about that, right? Instant gratification, where it's like a relationship or something to distract you from your own shit. It's like now you're a couple, so you deal with shit together, whatever it is.
Exactly. So that's why, like, when my daughter's mother, that's what it was. I was honestly, honestly, I wasn't trying to. It wasn't trying to be like, I wasn't trying to get into anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was just like it was presented to me, and my mind was like, oh shit, I don't want to be depressed no more. I don't want to be. Don't right in. I'm not trying to get to know the person or anything like that. So that was my daughter's mother. But then later on, everything piled up. So that also taught me it's just your mental health, like what you were trying to find. It's it's always within ourselves, bro. It's not outside from anything. So once you do that, then if you want to get into the relationship, whoever complements your journey, your wavelength, your vibe, that's one who you get into a relationship with. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the mentality I have now about that.
You know what's fucked up? Like even like on TV and shit, right? Like they pose like on TV when there's a breakup, right? It's like, girls will cry and call their friend over and they'll sit on the couch and eat ice cream together, and it's like, like a one day thing. And then like, the next day, like, yeah, we'll go out and everything's better. It's like that's not reality, bro. Like that shit hurts for months. And no one they don't depict that because you can't put that in a TV show in 30 minutes, right? But the reality is like, it takes time. Like you got to sit there with it and you got to look at it. You can't just ignore it and try to suppress it with, drugs, alcohol, and all this other shit, or distracting yourself with other things. It's like you have to really sit with it, think about it, reflect on it, and let it process so that you can heal from it and move on, right? But no one fucking teaches you that shit. It's not anywhere, right? Like it's you have to really, really look for that shit.
No, and and that's why it's hard for people with their mental health, because they think like what it is. They think whatever is in their surrounding areas that seems like the way to get out of that slump is the way. Like like alcohol, drugs, whatever. I mean, like even me, like I told you, I was a freaking hardcore alcoholic for years. So it's just crazy. So it's just but the only way, and here's the thing. This is like, okay, we spread awareness, but a lot of times when awareness is spread, it's always too late. Like it's always it always comes back to people's minds when somebody committed suicide, when somebody took their own life. That's when the thought comes to a lot of people about mental health. That's when mental health is real, y'all. Mental health is real. Spread mental health awareness, and I'm like, yo, It's been real. It's
Yeah.
been real since we had thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
So it's just to me, it's just like, yeah, there's nothing that teaches you. Remember, like, and even with self-help books, you gotta get a bunch to actually get one some type of
Yeah.
like a
Little
code of conduct.
pieces from each
Yep.
one. Yeah. Because it's all
Yeah. So
circumstantial to the individual, right? As much as
yeah,
you read a book that's for the general public, like it's not going to tell you exactly what is going to help you, right? You have to know yourself well enough to be able to do that, and that's the hard part,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's just for me. I still do external things to make me feel better. Like I mean,
Yeah.
for me, it's So now once I've started this journey, like I started. I'm not gonna say confidence. I started to get into like more of an ambition. My ambition started coming back.
Okay.
But like a good like an ambition of like not on like an egotistical level of like in my mind like, yo, I can still out rap all these motherfuckers, out there right now rapping. Man, what the hell am I doing sitting back and just being
Yeah.
depressed. So my ambition to start writing happened again. I mean, I feel a little rusty because I'm my own worst critic. So I feel a little rusty, but I'm getting back into it.
I think
My
it was
creativity.
your TikTok. Your TikTok, you did one of the ones where it's like somebody else like throws out a beat and it's like side by side. You were spitting fire
Oh
on that
yeah,
one. I was like, yo, you lit on this.
yo, and that was my first TikTok ever. But so basically, you saw me with the mask, right? So that's
Yeah.
how I'm gonna present myself as an artist. Because like the whole Shogunna thing, okay, it was cool. But to me, in my mindset, I mean, I'll share it with you. Like that whole Shogunna persona. I mean, my nickname is still Shogun to this day. Everybody. That's my name. That's like what everybody knows me as.
Yeah.
Like ever since I was, fucking little kid. But that's cool though. But for me to be like, to me, it also is a reminder of me of everything that was me. From my actions, my thoughts, especially my thoughts and how I was inside. So to me, like I see that, I'm not ashamed of it. That's who I was back then.
Yeah.
That's who I was. That's not me who I am now. I look at, so that's why I was like, for me, I want to be a whole, that's an OG son, this old guy, old man, OG.
OG,
So
right?
it's,
OG son.
yeah, OG son, all that shit. So that, I went with the OG son persona. And then, and for me, like personally, the mask thing was represent more the Korean culture too.
Okay.
But also the mask is like, people don't know who the hell I am. They're not going to know who I am. So my ego is not going to be in control now.
Oh,
Usually,
yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Usually when rappers are rapping, or like performers, you see them barefaced, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Once you could identify them in the street. So and then that does, I mean, some people can hold it well, but some people, I know the ego is in control now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, I don't want like, I mean, my ego is going to be there. So it's just something where I got to find balance with it. But to me, it's
Right.
like, hey, me, I'm not doing this for an ego, for the clout, for the likes. You know what I'm talking about? This is just me. I have to ask for it again. I'm going out there with it. You like it, you ride with it. That's it. If you're not, okay, go on by. You don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's all, because to me, it's like, I'm just presenting the music then. So it's like, who is this guy? But then it's just the music. You know what I'm saying?
It allows you to focus on the craft versus all the extra bullshit that comes with it, where it's like you got to worry about what people think of you. They know what you look like, et cetera, et cetera. This is like, yo, I love the music. I'm gonna focus on the music.
Yeah. So that's the mentality I'm on right now, bro. So it's just, I mean, there's so much to share and talk. I don't know where to touch upon. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
we covered a lot of the stuff we talked about before, right? Your journey on how you've come to the realization that it's okay to ask for help and seeking it out.
Yeah.
Coming from a background where everyone kind of looked at it a certain way, and there's that stigma of like, yo, like what are you doing? Like, like it makes you look weak, but then the realization of like, no, this is I'm actually stronger from it, right?
I do feel way much stronger. So like I'm on a process where I'm doing that. I even try to like, I was like, all right, I just try to like be more open to the world now, and then I do feel so much better about myself, And now the fact that when I get triggered, I'm like, oh, I feel it. You know what I'm talking about? Now, but so I'm at a level where it's like I'm triggered. I look at the person I'm triggered by, or the group of people. I'm gonna either say my slick shit I always say, like, what the fuck are y'all doing here? or how the Japanese say,
just keep it professional at work.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, motherfucker.
You just say it a little deeper. It's like,
it's still in me. I know it's in me. That's because I still feel that.
Yeah.
But I'm doing way better now because because people notice it. People notice it when I do it. So it's like my boss even was like, yo, you're in the presence of people, and this is Berkeley. He's like, yo, because he knows where I come from. He knows about me too.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, this ain't Chinatown, New York. This ain't Little Tokyo, LA. This ain't Koreatown, LA, or New York. This ain't he's like, this ain't that life no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in that life no more.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, this is a whole new life. Look where you are, man. We're in freaking Berkeley and Louisville.
So you're okay.
Yeah, see the people coming in. These are freaking. Look at them. What are they gonna do to you? Like what are they gonna do to us? Like we're here to take their money. So so that's. So I was like, all right, you're right. He's like, come on, because I know him very well back then too, so he knows me. So it's just crazy. But that's the only reason why I'm still able to have a job. Because imagine me like that at a regular place, like where they don't even know me. I'm already gone. You know what I'm talking? You see what I'm saying? I'm already gone. I'm already kicked out.
Yeah.
So it'd be always hard for me to find a job. So it's like, so that was the only blessing I had. Like from me coming out of prison and still not getting into, being locked up for life or even dead. Yeah. And till now, still able to keep the job, to keep going. I think to me it was like, all right, let me stop taking this for granted. And I stopped taking things for granted. And it's, to me, it's like show more gratitude. Show more gratitude. You know what I'm saying? And then show more, show more thanks to all the good things happening. Yeah. Even the bad things that happen. Like I'm like, you know what, mate? I needed to learn that. I needed to feel that. So it's giving me, it teaches me on how to be better. So.
Yeah, and gratitude's important, right? It reminds us of the things we do have. Because a lot of times we're always looking at other people, and we want what we don't have, and the grass is always greener. But it's like, yo, what's on your side of the fence? Like, appreciate what you do have, because so many other people are lacking that as well. And just like shifting that focus and being grateful, like it helps a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, after I started like going to therapy and all that, that's when I started showing gratitude,
Yeah.
Because it's like I didn't change right away or felt better about myself right away. Once he broke everything down to me and analyzed me and gave me like his results to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. That day when I walked out was like on some like, yo, I'm fucked up. Like in my mind, I was like, yo, I'm a fucked up person.
That's one of the hardest parts about that shit, right? It's like the realization of how fucked up you are as a person, or all the habits and traits you have. It's like, that shit gets depressing sometimes. Like you sit there with it, like, fuck, dude, I thought I was a good dude, and it's like, damn, like I have some fucked up habits.
Yeah, I've got fucked up mentality. Let me shout out, yo, Evie, I see you. Sean, bro, what's good? I see Queen's in the fucking house today, huh? Miss you motherfuckers, yeah. You know the vibes, but anyway, my bad. I had to, it's just, mentality. I feel like that was like the whole realization full circle came to me.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I am a fucked up individual, and all this sadness was me just fucking feeling sorry for myself. I'm making myself sad. I'm making myself more depressed. You know what I'm talking about? It was just like, yo, like a bad thing happened, and I make it even more worse. With my distorted mind, and that's when it all hit me full circle. Like, yo, damn, I'm a fucked up. I was, now I'm like, I was a fucked up person, and how I treated other people. And because I was a fucked up person, I was treating other people fucked up too. That should have never been treated that way.
Right.
So, and then I started to show gratitude. That's when I was like, yo, but I'm very thankful I was able to know now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it all started, bro. And then,
thanks for sharing everything, dude. Like, this has been great. I got a timer that's counting us down. We got like 5 seconds, and it's about to end. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna hit you back right after this. Right now, more than ever, everyone is addicted to instant gratification and life hacks to a happier life. The reality is that anything more fulfilling takes time and effort. We're willing to invest in devices on Amazon that'll save us 5 minutes in our day, but we're less willing to invest in ourselves, which can stretch our longevity by years. What we consume, both in content and calories, plays a huge part in our physical and mental well-being. I want to make a difference by sharing insightful knowledge into our own psychology. For years, we're force-fed what to think and what is acceptable. I'm here to break us out of that copy-paste mindset so that you can reach your full potential. I need your help spreading this knowledge on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, and most importantly, subscribing to this channel. This has been another episode of Food for Thought.